Hi, everybody. It's Paula with Dip into Art, and I am happy to say I'm going to paint another one of the designs from my curated Let's Get Beachy watercolor art kit. I am working on getting all 5 designs painted by the end of the week in a tutorial format so that when you order the kits, you can refer back to the videos to learn how to lay down some very basic watercolor wash on your designs. In your kit, you will receive all beginner grade watercolor set, watercolor paper, and a watercolor paintbrush. I will be using the supplies that you will receive, so I will show you that you can paint with beginner art supplies, very basic art supplies, a cute, fun design. So let's get started, and I will show you which one I've chose to paint today. Okay, we are at my workspace now. Actually, let me go back over to the picture so you can see I am going to paint the sunset palm. So in your kit, you'll receive watercolor paper with the design already printed on the watercolor paper. This watercolor paper is not bad. It's student grade, but it's nice to work with, um, and very light washes. And then you'll receive a beginner watercolor set like this, 12 colors in here, and we will paint a sunset palm scene with this kit and this design. Let's see. First off, we're going to take a look at the supplies again. You'll receive this, a design, and the color chart you'll receive looks like this. This will come in your kit too. It'll help you with mixing some colors. I still refer to this chart. If I can't remember how to mix a color or want a specific value of, say, this blue-green, I can go here and see what colors I need to add to make the color I'm looking for. Okay, so you'll receive that, this, and this. All right, we will get started. I'm going to start with yellows first, and we'll work wet on wet for most of this. And this is the sun spot. What I think I might do, and I showed this in a previous video, is to use some wax. You can use a white crayon or a wax crayon or wax stick, and you can go over areas of the paper where you do not want the paint to show. And this will act as your white. So I want sort of a white highlight around my sun to make it look like it's glowing. And maybe in the water, we'll add some zigzag lines to make it look like light is reflecting off the water, and maybe a few spots in the water on both sides down even into the lower portion. So I'm just adding some wax here, and that will resist the water and the color and leave some white for you. And I think that's all I'm going to do for the waxing, the wax. So use a crayon. A white crayon works just fine with that technique. I will start with laying down water over the entire surface of the paper. I will work with the top half first because it is very warm in here, and we want to work wet on wet. So we want our paper to stay wet for as long as possible. So I'm just letting the water drop in here. If you had a squirt bottle, this is another trick. You could just squirt water on your paper, especially if you're doing the whole surface. I would go down here a little bit. And this tends to lay down a lot of water really quick. The only time that you really want to be careful with this is if you don't want puddles of water, because it tends to sort of puddle up. And you'll notice that my watercolor paper buckled because I laid down a lot of water all at once. Watercolor paper does this. It doesn't matter if you have a student grade or an artist grade or a professional, whatever grade of watercolor, they all buckle in one way or another during the painting process. Okay, so we're going to call that wet. That was a fast way to get water on your paper. And also use your squirt bottle to spray your paint pans. It'll save you some time scooping up color. So all I'm going to do is just in a sort of upward motion, sort of arch motion, is lay down this yellow. And since my paper is already wet, I can go straight into the pigment, which is straight into the color, and lay the color down on my paper. That's already wet. Sometimes your brush may need a little bit more water to get things moving. And I'll go right into the sun. And I'm going to leave my edges just real rough. Make sure the paper stays wet. because the next color we're going to use is orange. And we're going to go right over some of the yellow and drop some orange into the sky. So we're painting the background over the lines here. And I can do this because I know that my palm tree and these mountains in the background are going to be a very dark shadow color because they are in silhouette. It means they're going to be in sort of a black tone. And you can pick up some more concentrated color and just drop some more concentrated color around the sky, which means you add some darker values and some lighter values all around your sky. Okay. And then the next color I'm going to go into is add some red towards the top. And again, while this is all wet, because you want these to blend, these colors to blend nicely. And you can do all of this with a small brush. And I am challenging myself to do all of these paintings with the supplies that I will be sending you. Okay. And then I'm going to add just some more droplets of red, like some of the clouds are in the sky and they're casting a red value. And we'll go across the sky here. Leave some of the yellow showing, some of the orange showing. You can even go back and forth. Let's say you want some more orange down here to blend with that red. You can go like this and drop some orange color in here and it'll look beautiful. I'm going to go like this. I'm not worried about going right over the palm tree because it's going to be in shadow. So I'm completely ignoring the rest of the lines in this painting. And I'll just sort of scrumble along the edge here. And I'm going to add some of this dark blue right over this red. And it will make it look like the top of the sky. And we can even come down with it, mix it with some of these colors. And at some point, I do want to add some, excuse me, of the purple. Maybe I can drop some of this purple right along here, right into the blue. Making a really nice, pretty sunset sky. Maybe some clouds up in this corner. Maybe we've got some purple clouds over here. Now, if you mix the purple with the orange a little bit, it may turn a bit gray. And that's okay. So I'm going to go in now and drop some more dark blue. Excuse me. We want to work real fast because we don't want the paper to dry. And I'll bring this up a little bit further to the top of the page. Get our sky in, just like so. I'm going to grab some more blues. Get the sky really popping at the top. And then for the sun, I do want to add a bit of this creamy white. Make sure your paintbrush is clean when you go into that. So I don't want to turn my sun blue. But I'm going to take and blend out some of the orange that bled in here. And maybe add that side a bit darker. And grab a bit of this creamy color and drop it in here. And make it a little creamy red tint to make it look like some of the clouds are glowing off the sun. See that? Even scramble along some more color into here. And we'll call that layer done. We're going to work into the water now. And go straight into the water. And we're going to reflect the sky. Going right over the lines. I'm just going to drop the color in this time because I want to leave some white space in some spots of the water. And we'll just work with maybe a red first. Grab some of that red and put it in, not quite in the middle of the water, but close to. Maybe we'll add some more of the orange down here. So we're going to go this way with it. The blue is going to be down here. And you'll see in a minute where the wax will leave some white space onto the paper. Add some more red down here. And that way when I drop my blue in, I get a purple color. And drop some blue down here. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. We're just laying down some color to mimic the sky above it. Okay. And grab some purple. Just like this. And we'll keep working on our water. Grab a really nice scoop of blue. Bring that all back. You can use just water and sort of blend all that together. You can grab some more orange. Be careful with the orange and blue. It will muddy it up a bit, just like I just did here. But in the end, it'll be okay. What you can do if you do that is sort of just dab off some of the color that you don't like and do it again. So you see, I made a little mistake there. So with the blue and the orange, it makes more of a brown color, and I didn't want brown. So I'll work on some spots up here. Grab this red and bring it along this horizon line back here. Maybe add a little bit of pink. And I'm not too worried about this bleeding up into the mountain range there because that is all going to be a dark color. I'm going to go ahead and add some more orange. Just coming down, maybe at an angle with the orange. It's not straight across. Sort of staying away from the blue. Maybe we grab a little purple. Paper's still pretty wet down here, so we'll just add some purple streaks. Sort of go into your blue with the purple a bit. Like I said, I'm keeping the edges very rough because I like that look. I think that looks pretty cool. But if you wanted to bring some of the color out more, you could just scrumble along the line, just take the edge of the line and move some of that color out, add some color in. Like that. If you wanted it to go more to the edge of your page, you could fix that just by doing that. Okay. I'm going to grab a tint of yellow right here. Maybe right here, right here. Maybe add some, just drop some yellow here and there. And if you put yellow in the green, just know that it will, or yellow in the blue, it will turn green. So if you don't want green water, keep the yellow away from the blue. Okay. Rinse my brush. That looks pretty cool. I'm going to add some more blues down here. And the paper's still pretty wet. And bring that blue up just a bit. Maybe something like that. You can even add a little bit of blue in the purple. And with this, you can really just run with your imagination. Water changes with the light and the way you look at it. Okay, so those parts are done. We're going to let this dry. This is one of those paintings where you do want to let your painting dry. And I see in the sun, you can see there, I did get some bleed. And all I'm going to do is wipe it up. I got some bleed into the sun. And if you want your sun a little bit brighter, like it's white, you can just take a paper towel and scrub out some of that color. And it'll brighten that sun up. And if you wanted to add some more light into the water, and take a damp paper towel and just soak up some of that color. Now you have some light. The wax did this. It added some light, but not as much as I thought it would. So I'm going to go ahead and dabble just a damp paper towel into the water and give it some dapples of last light from the sunset. And then we'll let this dry. This is one of those paintings, again, you do want to let it dry before you move on to the next step. And I think I just got my finger right here. That's okay. If you wanted to deepen some of your colors at this point, you could take and move your brush in between some of the highlights and give the water some depth. Like this. Sort of wherever you see a light spot, you can go right under it. And that gives you this sort of wavy effect. And you can do the same thing with the purple color. The paper is damp to wet. Some of these spots are still pretty wet, but I might be able to scooch some purple in there. Maybe this spot here got away from me a little bit. Scoop it out. It's like a little wave, a little splash. So just dabble in some color where you think you might want some more color. Maybe along the palm tree. Maybe we take some more orange. And again, we're sort of just waiting for this to dry off a bit before we paint the silhouette of the mountains and the palm tree. So as I'm waiting, I'm just adding some deeper colors into the water. Maybe some more yellow here. Be careful to not get that yellow into the purple a little bit. Here we grab a darker bit of red. And this red really looks pink. I just dabble in So sort of dragging my brush along. And then at the horizon line, be right here. We just grab some of this bright pink and pull it along this line here. I think that looks really pretty. And I'm just going to clean my brush off. See if I can get a little bit more of this purple back. Might be just a wave. We'll just maybe keep it that way. Okay. I think that looks real nice. And if you see spots where you're like, I need some more light, you can just take a clean brush, dry it off a bit, and drag it along your painting and lift some color out, or use a paper towel and grab some more light if you feel you need it. Okay, I really do think that looks good. And then we really do need to let this dry. Okay. And actually what I will do is, if you have a heat tool, you can dry your paper off with a heat tool. And that'll give you, obviously it'll dry your paper off quicker. So I'm going to grab my heat tool, which is somewhere over here. Grab a drink first. Well, I had it. It is. Where'd you go? Where'd you go? Oh, I have it hanging on the wall where it's supposed to be. Usually it's on the floor. I actually hung it on the wall this time. Oops. Heat tool. And we'll just go in and dry it off here. See, as it's drying, it's kind of buckling and the paper is sort of buckling up. It will flatten out once it's all dry. The paper just soaks up the water and buckles. Can even take and dry the back. That flattens it out even more. Make sure the front is dry before, pretty well dry before you do that. And I think we're good to go. So the next step is to paint the silhouette of the sunset. And I'm just sort of bend your paper a little bit. And I think I'll start with this palm up here. And we're going to do wet on dry. What that means is the paper is dry and the paint is wet, activated, but we're going to use a pretty thick color of a mixture of black, and I'm going to use purple. You could use blue or even red, but I want to do a purple for this. And what you want to do is have a nice amount of paint on your brush, and actually what we'll do is we'll kind of get into the center of this. I'm going to leave some highlights if I can in the center. And then I'm going to go up and around the line just like that. And then we're just going to do some really quick flicks to make our palm fronds. And we'll sort of, this one's sort of twisting up. So make some real quick strokes to begin with. Try not to go over the same line twice. And we're going to make some thicker ones. Okay. Just real quick like that. And then this one, since it's angling down, we'll take our fronds and we'll pull them this way. Real fast. And I didn't go over the line yet for this outline. Okay, that's the start. And since this branch is hanging down, we're not going to put, I'm going to put fronds up going on the left side. We're going to have it appear that they're coming down from the other side. And sort of mix up the direction of where your palm fronds are going. And what you can do is go sort of slightly over to the left and then to the right side. It makes them look like they're bending down. Okay. And then we'll just loosely grab some more, just like that. And we'll keep going around this palm tree, doing the same steps. Okay. So this one's the only one that's really going to have fronds on both sides, this one that's pointing up. Okay. These ones are all going to have their fronds coming down. If that makes any sense, I'll show you. So let's go ahead and outline this guy. And we're going to pull some fronds down, thick and thin ones, sort of real loose to begin with. Okay, that's our start. I like the purple because it really blends, I don't know if you can see that, blends nicely with the background on the sunset. It sort of looks like it's catching the, these palm fronds are catching some of the light of the sunset on the tips. So all I'm doing is grabbing, going up a little bit, and then angling it back down, like it's, some of them are bending over the branch. And then we'll just keep. And the quicker you are with your flicks, the more realistic they'll look. Okay. Maybe going in different directions. Maybe a little thicker towards the ball of the palm tree. Okay, some more black. Some more purple. And we'll do the next one. If you have too much water on your brush, just dab it. I got a lot of water here. Dab your brush on your paper towel. And this one's going to go right in over the water. Just the tip of your brush, doesn't have to be a perfect line. I am not one for perfect lines, so I'm just going to pull out some of these palm leaves. We can redirect some of these leaves, just like so. Maybe a little bit's going into the sun. Okay, we got one side done. And we'll darken up the middle a bit. Okay. Get some more black, some more purple. And I'm going to make sure I don't get my hand into this wet paint here. When you're painting lines, it helps to sort of look, as you're dragging, look in the direction you want your brush to go. That means don't keep an eye on your brush. Keep an eye on the direction that you're painting. That makes sense. I'm going to darken up some of these front here. I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to pull up some of these. Oh, that was a long one. That's okay. Flick, 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 flick. Flick. As quickly as possible. Maybe we've got one going down. Like up and over. Up and over. Like it's bending in the wind. I'll show you. Up, over, and down. Pull out some. Call that one good. Got a little bit of water pulling up right here. I'm going to very carefully lift that off. And you can darken up some of these as you go. Okay. And I'm going to do this guy all the way down. And just flick out some palm leaves real quick. You don't need a lot of paint on your brush to do this. Maybe some up and over ones if they're bending. Come over. Good. All right. And we'll do some coming around this way. Almost done. Black and purple. I'm going to turn my paper around. Get to this line, this branch. Smell. just like so. Something very relaxing about painting palm trees. Don't ask me why I just went back into this, but I did. Okay, let's move on to this guy. And some more purple, a little bit of black. Just the tip of your brush. And get a good rhythm. You don't need a whole lot. All right, so there's the palm leaves. And next, we'll go ahead and go right straight into a very dark, almost all the black into the palm tree. When if you want to lay down color quicker, you can get this part wet. Okay, and drop your dark colors in there, and maybe leave some of the edge as a highlight, like the water's or the light of the water's reflecting off of the palm tree. And we'll just go right in and up here. Fruit fly or something. Let me. And this watercolor is pretty translucent, so you can sort of see the other colors underneath of it, and that's okay. That's a good thing. Okay, and then we'll do the mountains. Maybe for the mountains, we'll add some red or blue. Maybe blue. Push it back a little bit. Blue and black. You can choose. You can go straight black too. And we will just go into the mountains just like this. Right along the horizon. Okay. And I'm just going straight over the palm leaf here. You can always add some more color back. You have a little bit darker right there. And just keep going along this hillside in the back. Just like that. And maybe in some spots of your palm tree, you can you can darken it up a bit. Just go down the tree with some more color, maybe right in the middle, where it would be darkest. Maybe down here. And there you go. And that is your palm sunset painting. You can, again, you can go in and add some more details. You can add some darker values to your palm fronds, your leaves, to make them pop some more, like this. You can, even before you paint the palm tree, if you wanted to add more color to the sky and to the water, you could do that before you paint the silhouette of the palms and the mountains. And again, you can go in just, let's say, in this center of your mountain range. It's going to be the darkest. You could just dabble some color in there and leave the tops a little bit lighter. Make it look like it's reflecting some white. And there's your sunset palm. And if you had some white paint, you could actually add white paint, some white acrylic paint or white acrylic marker. You can white out the dark line here if you wanted, add some more white to the water, things like that. But that is your basic steps on how to paint this sunset palm from your watercolor, beginner watercolor art set. And I've got, one more to go, and that will complete the tutorials for the beginner watercolor art set. These here. So I've got one more. I have another beach scene to paint, and then you'll have access to all these tutorials for however long you need. You just go up to my YouTube channel, watch the video, do your basic painting on these designs, and then add to it as you go and as you like. Again, thanks for watching and thanks for following along. And I will see you in, well, I won't see you, but I will be doing the next video here before Friday. And you'll have all 5 watercolor design tutorials to watch. All right, we will see you soon. We won't see you soon. We will talk to you soon.